folks, before the congressional declared crypto week in 2 weeks, July 14th through 18th, we might get a dip. And this time it is because Donald Trump has re-threatened the tariffs. Yes, folks. I guess like he's not having too much luck making actual deals. I think the only deal he's made is with Vietnam. And of course, the temporary pause ends on July 9th. So he wants to wield his big stick and get people into submission. But I don't think it's actually going to work. He's re-threatening 70% tariffs on nations that don't make a deal that he wants, and 17% tariffs on agricultural imports from Europe. Obviously, that's going to hurt farmers on both sides, and he's going to have to use a lot of money to subsidize farmers on the American side. So Donald Trump stated that 10 or 12 letters would be sent out on Friday, with others to follow ahead of a July 9th deadline for countries to strike deals and avoid higher import costs. But I don't actually think the EU is really going to bite, and I don't think Canada is really going to bite either. U.S. President Donald Trump is expected to begin formally notifying key U.S. trading partners of a sweeping new tariff regime as early as Friday. According to media reports, the duties set to take effect on 1st of August could see some countries face levies of up to 70% on exports to the United States. Speaking to reporters ahead of the Independence Day holiday, Trump said around 10 or 12 letters would be issued immediately, with more to follow over the coming days. He knows that like the 90-day deadline's coming up. He doesn't want to just withdraw them, so he wants to try to threaten them into submission, but if they don't actually fold, he might have some problems. And he's only got a couple of days, so it's going to be very, very hard to work this out. By the 9th, they'll be fully covered, he stated, referring to a July 9th deadline he previously set for reaching deals that would avert higher tariffs. But the prospect that he will sign a bunch of trade deals within like 6 or 7 days is pretty laughable at this point. He has one out of like the 100 that he needs to sign at this point. And I don't think the other countries are going to agree. I mean, like some of them have basically just stopped talking at this point. They'll range in value from maybe 60 or 70% tariffs to 10 to 20% tariffs. Now, we already have like a 10% overall. The United States is currently in sensitive talks with several economies, including South Korea, Indonesia, and Switzerland, and the EU. I think the EU talks are basically dead at this point, and that's like the biggest one. The discussions are understood to be at a critical stage where delicate issues are being tackled. The White House first announced the higher reciprocal tariffs on April 2nd, but delayed full implementation for 90 days to allow time for talks. During the interim, a 10% rate was applied should the full slate of tariffs be enacted next week. Bloomberg Economics estimates the average duty on U.S. imports could rise to around 20%, up sharply from the pre-Trump average of roughly 3%. So such an increase would present a significant escalation from the initial framework unveiled in April, where proposed tariffs range from 10 to 50%. The president has not yet detailed which countries or goods would fall under the highest rate brackets. So the tariffs could actually be started on August 1st, and I think these sweeping tariffs will definitely affect the price of goods. And just this news coming out next week, and there's very little chance I think he gets all the countries to actually sign on next week. So if this gets implemented, we'll see a drop. But I don't think these will be permanent because there'll be some semblance of like frameworks or whatever, or like Trump will just back off again like he has the last couple of times, and it will soon be alleviated. So this could definitely be a dump and then pump. Like some people are saying like he's shorting these things beforehand. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate too much on that. But at the same time, it is going to be pretty hard on people that like, don't grab the opportunity. If you're just a long-term holder, it probably doesn't affect you because if we go down for a couple of days, fine. We go down for a couple of days and then it will just recover. But if you're a short-term trader, you do need to actually take note of this information because like big tariff information like this is actually something that would actually move the markets at least temporarily for a couple of days. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Happy Independence Day, and I will see you guys later.